You have an ex with an avoidant attachment style, either a fearful avoidant or a dismissive one, but either way, they dumped you, which is pretty much what dismissives and fearful avoidants always do. And that's especially true if they saw you as needy, clingy, smothering, or controlling, which is pretty typical with avoidance. But you wisely went into no contact after getting dumped, and now your radio silence is totally confusing them, especially the fearful avoidant. And while avoidants often do come back, many people know that it takes 6 months or longer before an avoidant will circle back around to you, and that's only if you play your cards right. But you might be seeing some of these 7 key signs I'm about to talk about that your avoidant ex wants you back. So let's get into it. Sign number 1, increased digital presence. You may begin to notice that they're now looking at your Facebook or Instagram stories, whereas they weren't doing this before. Maybe they're even liking or commenting on things that you're posting. The fearful avoidant is more likely to do that, though, than the dismissive. But they may also be doing some strategic timing of their own posts, where they're posting things more often than they used to, and they're doing it during the times that they think it's most likely that you're going to be online. And they may even be posting kind of clickbaity things designed to get your attention. Songs that they know were meaningful to the two of you, or maybe memes, funny quotes, or sayings, or maybe pictures of places that the two of you went or talked about going to. Sign number 2, testing your boundaries. You're in no contact, of course, and they haven't reached out to you directly, but maybe they occasionally kind of check in with a vague text like, hey, or what's up, or how's it going? Something that's very vague and non-committal. Or maybe they're reaching out with practical excuses to communicate like, hey, I found your old t-shirt the other day. And maybe you're noticing that this kind of communication is getting more frequent. Ultimately, though, I want you to stay in no contact until they reach out more overtly. But I don't want you to ignore these kinds of messages because you could build on them possibly. So just like them or maybe heart them, but don't feel the need to actually type a response. Wait to break no contact until they say something like, hey, I miss you. Can we talk? Then make a date with them in the evening, ideally at your place, and make it happen. Sign number 3, showing vulnerability. Remember, avoidants don't typically show emotional vulnerability, especially dismissive avoidants. Maybe they're sharing personal struggles with you that they wouldn't normally reveal. Maybe they're opening up about some of their emotions. Maybe they're even opening up about feeling conflicted about the breakup. And maybe they're admitting to you that they're working on personal issues. And maybe they're even referencing going to therapy, which is also something that many avoidants typically avoid. Now, if they're having these kinds of conversations with you directly, I would take the opportunity to try and make a date with them, even if they didn't say, can we get together and talk? Because they're really letting their guard down here. Remember, ultimately, avoidants fear being abandoned. But if they're being vulnerable with you like that, it's not the time for you to pull back and go radio silent. Sign number 4, memory lane references. Maybe they're bringing up positive shared experiences or reminiscing about places that the two of you went. Or maybe they're now at a place that was meaningful to the two of you and they text you to let you know that. Maybe they're even reminiscing about the quote-unquote good times. And they're using nostalgic references kind of as a way to reestablish the connection without actually laying their heart on the line. I know it's frustrating that they're not saying something like, oh my God, I totally screwed up by dumping you. Please take me back. But most people aren't going to do that because they don't want to be that vulnerable and risk rejection. Ultimately, their fear is that they're going to say that to you and you're going to be like, no, I don't think so. But again, as with the showing of vulnerability, if they're really opening up to you in this kind of nostalgic way, use that as an opportunity to get together with them at a specific time and place. Sign number 5, an interest in your life changes. They're showing unusual curiosity about your personal growth. Maybe they're even liking or commenting when they see a picture of you on Facebook at the gym or something like that. Maybe they have questions about what's going on with you in your life, or maybe they're even bold enough to ask if you're seeing somebody new. And even if they're not bold enough to ask you that directly, they might very well be asking mutual friends about it, and then it's getting back to you. And they're paying attention to details that they used to kind of ignore. Sign number 6, behavior modification. They're demonstrating changes in them that were problematic during the relationship. Maybe they're working on issues that used to create conflict between the two of you. These could be behavioral changes, attitudinal changes, or maybe habits. And they're showing growth and emotional availability, which of course they didn't used to show. And ultimately, they're putting forth effort into areas that helped destroy the relationship. Because even though they dumped you, remember, it takes 2 people to make a relationship and 2 people to break it. And even if they don't want to admit that, They know that. Sign number 7, jealousy signals. They're having subtle reactions, or maybe not so subtle reactions, to hearing about people that you're dating, or maybe seeing pictures of it online. Maybe if they sense that you are moving on, they begin to significantly increase the contact with you. Or maybe they bring up subtle reminders of the connection that you once shared. And ultimately, they seem to be seeking reassurance that they still have some place in your life. Avoidant attachment people, especially people who are not aware of their attachment style and aren't actively working on it, can be very difficult to be in a relationship with. I know. I've been with both fearful avoidance and dismissive avoidance, and it's very hard to make work. But if there is a level of awareness, if there is an attempt to grow from it, especially if they're working with a therapist, those are all really good signs that you might be able to make this work if they're willing to give the relationship another shot. But do stay vigilant in your no contact, with the exceptions I mentioned earlier, until they reach out to you overtly and say they want to get together. But let's say that you do actually kind of reconcile. Remember, take things really slowly. Let each relationship milestone be their idea, and don't immediately assume that you're just back to normal boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you were before. It's basically like you're starting over and you're allowing them to be in the driver's seat of how fast you go. And if you can do that, there's a chance that this will work. Remember, I do offer one-on-one coaching. That can be in the form of a phone call, a Zoom session, or you can simply email me your problem and I'll record a custom video just like this one and get it back to you within a couple of weekdays. If you want more info on that, it's down in the description or on this card right up here. But let me know your story about what's going on with you and your avoidant ex down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.